Why did fair hair and blue eyes spread so much? What possible? No, not really. It's not necessarily an attractive trait. Not necessarily, not if that's what you're not used to. So it's a side benefit, okay? Fair hair and blue eyes are associated with better vitamin D production, all right? And so whoever had that, or wherever that started, they had better vitamin D production, and they did better as a result. So it's a side thing, all right? It's not the trait itself, it's something else with the trait, and that often happens. So there has to be a reason though, right? There has to be a pressure to push the evolution forwards. Right now, I don't know if there is a huge amount of pressure on us. Let's say some giant pandemic would wipe out most of the world, okay? Then the people who were resistant to that would obviously have a beneficial trait and would probably produce the next generation, right? So, but normally, without something like that, there's not a whole lot of pressure. So there has to be life and lots of death, right? Normally, thankfully, we are not normally dying in droves, right? Aside from old age. At that point, you're not really making kids either way, right? It doesn't even matter. So there has to be a reason for lots of death or lots of reason why someone is producing more kids than someone else. And I think generally speaking, there isn't a huge pressure for that anymore for us. Yeah?
Two things. First, we seem to be very good at exerting a reverse pressure.
Yeah.
And also, there are a lot of things that you would think we would select out of because they kill us, that we have kind of neutralized, like allergy.
Yep. So yes, a lot of things that are negatively effective, right, that are bad, we might have evolved away from those, but we found ways to deal with it to the point that it doesn't even impact us anymore. So like bad eyesight, for example, see your glasses there. So, it's not an issue. So there's no reason for us to evolve away from that.
It's not necessarily a good thing, though.
No, it's not a good thing, but so what? It doesn't matter, right? We don't need it. We don't need to worry about it. So there's no pressure on it, right?
Until there is.
So, I suppose. But there needs to be a pressure, and on most of us, most of the time, there's not a lot of pressure anymore. You can basically have as many kids as you want. But there is an issue right there. As many kids as you want, right? If there's a population that wants more kids versus a population that doesn't want more kids, then you can see some divergence maybe, right? So anyway, but there does need to be time for genes to spread as well, keep that in mind. And there are almost 8 billion of us now. Wait, are we almost to 7 or 8? Anyway, whatever. There's billions and billions of us spread over the whole planet. The idea that the entire species will evolve all as one is pretty hard to imagine. That would take a long time, right, to spread over the whole planet, all the billions of humans. So there are a lot of us, we're not intermingling. If you want to see human evolution, the easiest way I can imagine that it could happen is if we sent a colony of, let's say, 100 people off to another world, and then they went on their own branch, right? They could diverge quite steadily from us, which would be interesting. Yeah?
I mean, you see that pretty quickly in terms of bone density and a lot of...
Potentially. It can't be Lamarckian though. There has to be a reason why in that population it's better to be, I don't know, tall or whatever, right? And if there was a reason and only the tall guys in that population did well, then you would start to see some evolution.
Well, the Expanse kind of goes into that with
sort of, but they in there it's more a Lamarckian.
Yeah, fair enough.
So it doesn't really work all out. Anyway, otherwise it's slow. If it's happening, it's very, very slow for us, right? So the truth is intentional changes will almost certainly overtake whatever natural drift we are experiencing. Okay, so whatever slow evolution is happening on this planet for us now, it's slow because there's so many of us and we don't die very much. Intentional changes are gonna overtake that easily, all right? So we are not going to wait for random mutations. We are not going to wait for slow improvements over the next billions of years. We are going to enhance ourselves. So we are going to do tech enhancements. We're going to upgrade our brain long before we evolve. We're going to do biochemical treatments, genetic changes. All of these and more we're going to be talking about in the next couple classes. We will become post-human, okay? To be post-human is to have augmented ourselves beyond what we currently are. And I do think that will happen if we have the time to do it.
It's already
or
happening.
transhumanism. is another term for it, and it is slowly already happening, yes. Glasses are an example of transhumanism, sort of. All right, so it's close, I guess. We've adjusted ourselves. So that's it for now. What we are going to do now is our activity. All right, so I will hand this out, and you guys can discuss the questions, and then we will take it up. Let me also pause this.